are no phones or talking while they are performing, and only go to the washroom between the poems if absolutely necessary. If a certain subject matter makes you uncomfortable, then quietly excuse yourself, check in with your teacher, and the counselors are on hand if you need to chat.
We're also introducing a new element to our finals. We are now offering a People's Choice Award. This means that after each block, we will project a QR code link to our Microsoft form. You will see the list of students who will present.
You are to choose one student that you think had the best spoken word. You can choose one poet in 1 minute. If time allows, we will announce the winner and they will get a prize in addition to the poets who win through the judging process. So pay attention and be ready to vote by the end of the block. Without further ado, let's get started. Up first, Lily Sanat with I'm Sorry.
I'm sorry, but I have no reason to be. I'm sorry, but they were the ones being mean. I'm sorry, words slipping through my lips like a thief in the night. I'm sorry, a saying I use because confrontation causes fright. These words have so much meaning, but I use them as a cloak that covers how I feel, and a cloak that apologizes when I don't finish my meal. She made such a lovely dinner, but I'm not that hungry. I'm sorry I didn't eat it, I'd say. I really am sorry. Sorry. It's a script rehearsed, lines memorized, words flowing from my voice, but it's not my mind, it's my heart. My heart feels sad, and my heart feels mad. My heart feels like it did something bad. These words rip from my throat like a thunderclap on a quiet night, reaching for approval from somebody's mind. Sorry. A word I have to say when I make a mistake, big or small. Because if I don't, the cliff will fall. The cliff will rumble and tumble, taking me with it and engulfing me in its guilt-filled rubble. The guilt I feel is stronger than the force stopping me from saying sorry. And it's always a game of tug-of-war between my sanity and the sensible thing. Sorry, a word that helps, but what if it doesn't help? I say the word that is supposed to make you feel better, that makes everyone feel better, but nothing happens. It's just hanging in the air with no meaning, while I think about the minute little detail that made me say I'm sorry. Sorry, I apologize for my perfectionism when it's something I can't even control. It's a feeling deep inside of me, a feeling making me want to flee. I apologize for my imperfection, for my inability to not make a mistake. The words I'm sorry carry such a weight. Imagine there is a bite on your arm, a bite that makes you want to scratch your arm off, a painstaking itch, and all you have to do is just scratch it. That's how the words I'm sorry feel. All I have to do is say sorry, and the itch is scratched. Sorry, one word, 2 syllables, but the pressure, a load, sitting on my tongue, resting on my chest. A word we learned so young, but spend our entire lifetime using and trying to understand. Sorry, the hardest word to say with its different meanings every time you use it. Sorry, a cycle going on and on and on.
All right, thank you, Lily. You all done? All right, judges, let's see those scores. Looks like we've got a 9.5, a 9.65, a 9, and another 9. Let's give it up. All right, you go there. Okay, you're introducing the next person. No, I will.
Our next poet is Ella Korik, presenting This Is Where I'm From.
Here, let me give you. Take this one.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fine. I'm from the water. I'm from the water where the waves sing and curl, the tides rise and highs, the wind changes the current, weak and strong, moving around and around. I'm from the water where people splish and splash and dive down deep, where the seals pop their heads out and whaleboats lurk. I'm from the water where sharp things live, and clams live in the deep depths, where barnacles cut down deep and the sand grain stings your wounds.
I'm from the sand, old and new, soft and crisp, where treasures are buried down deep. I'm from the sand where walking on the rocks makes you look funny for the pain-faced. I'm from the sand where crabs are robbed, stolen away in buckets, where their shells waver in color, adding it to the collection. I'm from the sand where the driftwood drifts, shells shatter and glisten, where vintage tiles of tomatoes belong in a kitchen. I'm from the sand where the sea gives us precious little things, sea glass worth collecting, with colors wearing rarity, so precious to me. I'm from the path where stones are jagged and rough, where snakes slither around all about, where the wind blows the leaves and the plants are about. I'm from the path where treehouses are built and blackberries are picked. I'm from the path where it takes you from the end and back, where conversations are started and go off track. I'm from the path where houses are connected, not in fence in sight, the path where dogs run wild, deers prance around, stories are told, and towels are dragged. I'm from the path where the ladybug lady garden grows wild, with fishy D's hanging from trees. I'm from the path where plants never stop growing, where the mud sticks and the bugs crawl. I'm from the wharf, made of wood and old rusted metal, a plank removed, replaced with a new. Older than me or you, live for generations, it's a historical piece. I'm from the wharf where the fishers fish and the kids jump off only from higher. I'm from the wharf where the shiners shine ever brighter than before. I'm from the wharf where the seals call it home, marking with their precious little crab legs. I'm from the wharf where the seagulls squawk, the eagles soar, and the herons perch. I'm from the wharf where the milestone starts, ends, and kayakers and paddleboarders go underneath, hoping not to dare fall. I'm from the wharf where the mussels and barnacles stick to it like it's its last life source. I'm from the boats where the buoys bounce around and the anchors hit the ocean hard. I'm from the boats where we yell at each other, your ladder, it's down, where propellers break from a deadhead that apparently came out of nowhere. I'm from the boats where tubing happens, where the scariest thing to happen is Warren playing the Star Wars theme song, where toilet bowls and magic eights fling you off the tube. I'm from the boats where people get greeted by seal poo. Will paddleboards and dinghies take you out to your boat worth more than me? This is Hopkins, a beautiful place, and my favorite place to be.
All right, judges, let's see those scores.
So next is
Okay, let's see them. I see a 9.5, a 9.8, an 8.4, and an 8.5. Let's give her a round of applause.
All right, up next we have Gabriel Law with the poem Who Cares? Let's give him a hand. Oh.
Who cares? Who cares about the pain? Who cares about the suffering? Who cares about the fat cat set up a bat to flatten the rats like a doormat? In animal combat, there are no winners. Only memories of the children, of the houses, of the families, of the love. Who cares? I don't care. Why should I? Who cares about belief? Who cares about grief? Who cares about the olive branch bombs that come in, level towns, houses, now just leaves, blanched faces? But bleeder leaders only work as weeders to ward off pleaders clinging to chains in combat, commenced by cowards cowering behind curtains of innocence. But then again, who cares? Who cares about questions? Who cares about possessions? Who cares about aggression, congestion, progressing oppression, transgressions, impressing recession and depression? Who cares about a schism of fascism, tourism, letting chauvinistic racism, activism get in the way of love? And fatal federalism exerting extremist, egoist, hedonistic journalism against heroism. But no one can be a hero in a war where 50,000 are killed in self-defense. And yet no one wants to meet with death, or else you'll be forced to confront your own mortality like a breath of fresh air in a former neighborhood, razed to rubble, forced to see your own bubble as missiles are launched in an escalation of trouble. But you know what? I don't care. I suppose no one does, and why should they when you see people perishing on the pavement, and so goes day and night, wrong and right, black and white. But men of cruelty, of politics, they bang the gong too headstrong to hear the long song of resistance, won't stop to see the distance, to ponder their existence and their persistence, not to look in the eyes of the children they kill in cold blood. Every day and night, war doesn't rest. No sides in war, times at war. But no, what am I saying? We don't care, right? We don't care about explosions and erosions, the corrosion of countries and careful charges to break a people apart. We don't care.
Thank you, Gabe, for that powerful poem. We'll give the judges a moment.
Maybe it's because he was speaking a little.
All right, I see a 9.8, a 9.7, a 9.8, and a 9.7. Wow, let's give him a hand. All right.
Introducing our next poet is Sammy Korek, presenting Barbie.
Let's give her a hand. Take your picture.
Thank you. All right. Cars are cool and so are soldiers. It's toys marketed to boys in a nutshell. Fashion, it's girls. But if you look deeper into a lot of the most popular girl toys, they try to have a nice message. But boys, no message? The most famous toy, Barbie, was created at a time where the only toys marketed to girls were baby dolls. They helped teach girls about motherhood. But then Barbie stepped foot onto the scene with a new concept, fashion. And that set a spark in young girls. Then, as the years gone by, women were stepping into the workforce. And so did Barbie. Now Barbie teaches kids that you could be anything, while still being fashionable, of course. And now she's seen in hundreds of careers. But the most popular boy toy, G.I. Joe, only encourages kids to learn about the Army. And they've stayed that way for years. G.I. Joes have no special messages. But Barbie is inspiring. Barbie has been crowned queen when it comes to girls' toys because she's the most best-selling and well-known doll. But once she was threatened by Monster High, and yet Monster High still inspired girls with their message of embrace your freaky flaws, teaching girls you don't have to be perfect. But due to copyright issues, Monster High was shut down, and Barbie still holds the crown. But all these special messages make me wonder, how come girls have these special messages but not boys? It's made me wonder a lot while writing the script. My best guess, they just add the special messages to create a stronger connection with their customers. And boys are just taught to be masculine with masculine interests like cars and the Army. And unlike boys, girls are more often to branch out into other interests that aren't classified as very feminine. But who knows why these brands choose these messages? But what I know is that we should cherish these messages. A big trend over all toys have just been surprises. Why make your customer inspired when you can make them curious? It's really made me appreciate Barbie more. They could have been like the bajillions of other toy companies just making prettier, unique toys, so girls pick out the prettiest in the toy aisle. But instead, they've lured girls in their cute fashion to teach them that they could be anything. And that's the inspiring world of Barbie and how she stands out.
All right, thank you, Sammy, for that poem. I will give a moment for the judges to give the scores. Okay, I see a 9.6, an 8.8, an 8.4, and an 8.8. Let's give her a round of applause.
Alrighty, up next we have Anaya Pesicic with Winter. Let's give her a hand.
When I say the word winter, what word comes to mind? You may think frostbite because of the biting air, gloomy because of the cold skies. You may think storm because of the snow, or fire because the cold sighs. When I say the word summer, what word comes to mind? You may think swim because pools become prominent, play because you have fun. You may think freedom because school's out, and bright because of the sun. If each season sung, summer sings sweet serenades while winter whines wistful wails. Let me ask a different question. Do you think Christmas is perfection? In terms of holidays, which direction? Halloween or a cheerier section? Does the man in the red suit mascot your favorite holiday? Does he come from the north to bring gifts from far away? Christmas, your favorite day, is in winter, the same season where the flowers die, light passes by. No matter how hard you try, snowstorms still fly. But how can the best day be in the season where plants decay? Because maybe, just maybe, winter isn't that bad. It might make you mad to admit that you're glad, to see the soft snow and the twinkly glow of the lights oh so bright, shining despite your mood, trying to prove that winter is good, and that you could like it as you should. Instead of thinking of it as a deadly chill, change it to an exciting thrill. Instead of saying that the snow is relentless, have snow angels represent this. Instead of missing the shining sun, make a snowman to have some fun. Instead of deciding that it's hard to walk, sled down the hills, graceful as a hawk. Seeing stockings filled to the brim, having fun activities at school, these are just some of the things that make winter cool. You sled, you make gingerbread, you laugh and giggle. You shred open your wrapped gifts as you speed down a big hill. After these chilly activities, you drink some hot cocoa. The warm, sweet drink soothes the coldness in Poco. You get to wear cozy, comfy clothes and decorate gifts with pretty bows. So before you say that summer is best, remember winter and remember the rest of this poem as you roam through the beautiful snow. Remember that winter can have a positive glow.
Great. Thank you, Anaya, and we'll give the judges a moment. Okay, I see an 8.6, an 8.6, a 9.8, and an 8.8. Let's give her a hand.
Our next poet is Ruby Gosselin, presenting Little Things.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Yep. Okay. Little things make the world a better place. Not enormous or average, but little. Maybe it's a storm that stops or plants growing in pots, feeling your exhaustion go away after a tremendously long day. Waking up in the morning, knowing there's no school that will be boring. We forget to appreciate these details even though they're so seriously important to us. But what? But how many reasons can I find for why I'll fail this test? Why in sports do I never seem to be the best? The seasons are changing, so my feelings are rearranging. How is it the world is rarely good? Someone somewhere will always be misunderstood. People around me have such great lives, while others have difficulty to strive. These feelings make us forget about the good things, and they can fill our lives with the feeling despair brings. But what? But yes, all of these feelings are unsatisfactory. Yes, life can suck sometimes. However, that doesn't mean that negativity always wins. For every emotion you have, there will not be a reason or distinct moment pinned. We must learn to appreciate, because life is hideous with hate. But what? But the way my friend said hi to me today makes me worry. She's never been in such a hurry. I can't help to think I'm failing. In this class, I should be sailing. No matter how big or small, my problems always break me till I fall. Sorry. My problems always break me till I fall. The little things aren't important. The bad things are just so constant. The stresses as humans get, it's swallowing us whole. But what? But somebody said, good job to me today. They said it was impressive, even though I was gone and away. My dog jumps up and down with glee when he sees me. When 11:11 comes around, a wish from me will always be found. We must acknowledge the appreciation in our lives. All people can find something we love. Not all of our moments will be horrible. We can learn from each other for the better. Because little things make the world a better place.
Right, let's give a moment for the judges to write their scores.
Okay, it looks like we have a 9.4, a 9.65, a 9.2, and a 9.3. Let's give her a hand. Up next, we have Fong Yuen with The Language of Music.
Hello. In sounds and rhythms we hear each day, there's a language we all understand, and though not many of us speak, it's music. These rhythms we hear everywhere, every day, aren't just found in songs. There's so much more where music belongs, in every place and moment. All these sounds are present in every point in each of our lives, from infancies when hearts pulse, make beats, cries ring throughout the room. The start of life is complete. It truly is a sweet treat to get such a nice greeting, so loud yet so neat. All these sounds are present in every point in each of our lives. For the first time, they sang happy birthday in elementary. We were young souls without clear goals of what roles we wanted to be in life. We were getting used to the light. It was a delight, but despite not knowing how to read or write, our futures were still looking bright. To the days when tears touched the ground for you, as you rest, passed away, passing time in what we call the afterlife, echoes, not the silence, but memories, from lullabies, the whispered goodbyes, symphonies we leave behind, symphonies of love and loss intertwined, etched into the hearts of those who care, who stand there as the organ plays, for the loved ones who wish they could return back to the good old days, letting them know that it's going to be okay. All these sounds are present in every point in each of our lives. And even during Remembrance Day, when we stand in rows of silence to remember those who fought for us, silence is an instrument too. A pause that speaks louder than words could ever do, resonating the weight of melodies we've all been through. Music presents power and pattern in a unique way. Obsession with music is woven into our bones for every day, in the sound of each note and the rhythm of each song. The songs we love and the music we play all show how each person is different in their own ways. Music sparks creativity, making a living room feel alive, giving us motivation to act on the notion born from musical notations, uncluttering commotions in our minds, free our minds for imagination. Music is complex, a tool to help us connect emotions English can't fully reflect. It is something irreplaceable that stands the test of time, from Victorian etudes to jazzy blues. It is remarkably sublime, and I once heard a melody from the piano. It was bittersweet once floating through the air. It's a sound I can't recall, but maybe in my mind somewhere it still lingers in there.
All right, thank you, Fong, and we'll give the judges a moment here. Okay, I see a 9.5, 9.1, 9.3, and 9.2.
Our next poet is Anna Perez, presenting Time Does Change People.
A year ago, I saw myself immature and unsure. Like summer heat, my feelings were too intense to endure. I'd find myself in tears over the smallest of things. Time does change people. Now I'm ready for what life brings. Feeling pressure to impress, I joined every club. Burned out and unaware, I just couldn't stop. Pulling all-nighters, I struggled on my own. Time does change people. Now I know health is my throne. Hearing the news we'd leave our homeland. As international students, our future is in our hands. I started a new chapter, eager to grow. Time does change people. I found strength I didn't know. Autumn's whisper urges me to set the past free. Make way for fresh starts like leaves from a tree. As the leaves fall down, I begin to see. Time does change people. I'm growing into me. I once craved the spotlight, afraid to be alone. Now winter's coming, I've made comfort my own. I've learned that all I need is the present and me. Time does change people. I've grown and now I feel free. I've made new friends coming from different places. Their stories show me new ways and faces. A year ago, things were so unclear. Time does change people. It's great to see how far we've come here. A place so unfamiliar, with culture shocks all around. I embraced the change, finding comfort I found. I never thought I'd be in this kind of situation. Time does change people. This has become my foundation. With spring's arrival, the days grow warm and bright. A season of renewal where hope takes flight. As I grow each day and learn to be free, I see that time does change people, including me.
Thank you, Anna. Okay, judges.
Okay, I see a 9.6, 9.7, 9.6, and 9.5. Let's give her a hand. Alrighty, up next we have Ethan Harris with Schools Are Stuck in the Past. Good luck.
I don't understand the system. I don't understand these tests crafted by people who don't know what they're diagnosing. How can you measure a mind just based on a bubbled out sheet of just word vomit? I don't understand the rows upon rows of children who don't believe in themselves and believe that the gates are closing, as they are all getting the same message: I am not good enough. We are trapped in a cycle of sorrow, a cycle that has been spinning for centuries and still will be there tomorrow. Even after all of the constant opposing, we are still stuck, pushing against a wall that never moves. The school system is a broken design, made to strip away our own little spark of creativity, to kill our fragile fire that burned inside of us all for the sake of a so-called better education? But simply there's no correlation, it's just a poor imagination of learning. It's a lie wrapped in grades, it's an arbitrary scale. Just letters, A, B, or C. We are treated like cattle, rated, sorted, packaged. But there's no room for real growth, no room for fun with the bros. The pressure is unbearable. All our future decided before we even lived it. Our future shoved down our throats by teachers, by parents. We are expected to carry the weight of the world before we even lived it. How can you measure a mind just by a few years of education when those years are meant to shape them, not to break them? Now, teachers have one of the most important jobs in the entire world, yet they are underpaid, undervalued. No wonder there's no change. I believe that a teacher should get paid as much as a doctor, because a doctor can perform open heart surgery on a child and heal that child's heart. But a teacher can heal with words, with belief, with persistence in that child's potential. And that is priceless. Now, no doctor will say that no two brains are the same. Then why is it that every single student is given the exact same task? Each one with different needs, different gifts, different dreams, each one with an own unique story to be heard. Yet, the school system doesn't listen, it doesn't care. All diagnoses them with the same, killing their creativity, killing their spark, killing their passion. We are not meant to be counted like the meat on our stores. We are not meant to be folded into something we are not meant for. I just hope that one day we won't be reduced to something we are not meant for. That one day we will see what the value holds in us, what each makes us different, because that should be our future. But we are still stuck living in the past.
Thank you, Ethan and judges. Okay, I see a 9.6, a 9.7, a 9.2, and a 9.4. Let's give them a hand.
Our next poet is Sienna Aranui, presenting My Demand for Equality.
Hold it close enough so people
Thank you.
in the back can hear you. You got it.
Thank you. Testing, okay. I'm just a girl, and that's all they told me. To fit in a box filled with ribbons, frills, and bows, and shrink quietly. But what about him, forced to stand upon on that pedestal, to flex, to lead, to never let his tears fall? It's so unfair, this world we were thrown in, with rules, expectations, and lies we've never chosen, a script I didn't write, yet I am forced to recite each line soaked in ominous shadows, not a tinge or smidge of justice or light. It's almost impossible to carry this weight we all bear, for women who are told beauty is all they can wear, and for men who are shamed when they dare to express pain, and for non-binary souls forced to explain. This is for the girl whose laughter was hushed, for the fire she carried, but she was left to burn into dust, for the sisters who fought for our freedom but were labeled too loud, and for the daughters who rose while the patriarchy pushed them down to the ground. Let us rise for those whose voices were stolen, for those who marched through the silence so we could be outspoken, for the hands that stitched freedom into hems of resistance, and the fists that shattered ceilings with their unyielding persistence. Feminism isn't pretty, and it isn't polite. It's raw, it's ugly, it's relentless, it's a sleepless fight. It's the grieving system that broke every heart, since we're all in the crossfire of roles we didn't pick, drowning in rules that make us all sick. But nor is feminism a dirty word. It's the unspoken song of equality, a waiting to be heard. It's equal pay for equal sweat. It's respect for rights we haven't met yet. Equality is my dream. No, it's my demand. The truth that cuts through like a burning fire in one's hand. It is a fight for what is right so we can all reunite. It's for her, him, they, and all in between. Because equality does not come in pink, purple, blue, or green. It's not man versus woman or woman versus man, but us versus them. It's humanity rising time and time again. Judgment arises too fast. Before we can understand, you've never walked their path or stood where they stand. Step into their shoes, walk a mile or two. Do you dare say you can bear the blisters that they have gotten used to? Gender rules coursing through society's veins aren't traditions, they're chains, and they must be reframed. Because 77 cents to $1 is not fair. And because toxic machoism is not fair. And because labels that divide us as a society are not fair. Acknowledging the past pain people had to endure should never be forgotten for sure. Since you burned us at the stake, you thought we were witches all those centuries ago. Now you just call us itches.
Wow, thank you, Sienna. All right, judges.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see a 9.9, a 9.8, a 10, and a 9.6. All right, up next, we have Nika Smale with Academic Pressures. Let's give her a hand. Hold it close enough so the people in the back can hear you. Okay. You got this.
Testing, testing. I was once a child who loved to play. Mornings, afternoons, evenings spent with a smile on my face. Wind in my hair and dirt on my knees. When the sun failed me, well, that was when I would read. Snuggled under covers with special stories. I lost myself in those words. How glorious. School made my life whole, but was never my whole life. I enjoyed the thrill of learning. Years passed, school got more strenuous, tests more taxing, assignments more arduous. As Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz would say, school and tests and assignments, oh my. Soon a good mark became so important, more important than reading, more important than playing. Crazy really, the number determines so much self-worth. Because a good grade made me feel like I was floating in the clouds, while a bad grade pushed me firmly to the ground. The pressure of the words grinding me down. Failure, failure, failure. And how could I let myself down? Mornings, evenings, afternoons, nights, filled with schoolwork, studying. But the absence of the things I loved was tight. Perfection. I had to get it right, down to the last detail. Nothing could be off, nothing could be wrong. I had to be great. And then school, that used to be fun, becomes a chore when you have the stress, and the stress is a chore in itself. What a mess. Because perfection is the glistening star in the sky that I'm always reaching for. And always falling short, somewhere in that vast darkness. The stress and work fill my days, the fear of mistakes, a hurricane I can't ever escape. And on a day with cerulean skies, birds chirping and beckoning me outside, my mom opened my door and invited me on a walk. Did I say yes? Did I set aside my work and take advantage of the day? If you thought yes, you were sorely wrong. Instead, I stayed inside, working on something that wasn't even due the next day. But what can I say? My desk becomes a cage, the problems a lock I can't ever break. The details beckon, begging to make them perfect, and before I know it, hours are spent working. The same hours I spent on this project, drowned in the never-ending desire for flawlessness. Because how can I censor this pressure, this unbearable desire to be clever, something that used to be a pleasure, now a blister, something that will make me wither, and it's so hard to fight, this need to always do right, until I'm crushed by the sight of what has become my life. This pressure. And I think the reflection of that girl who loved to play is staring at me from the glassy water of a lake, and a rock that I have dropped astray sends ripples across the surface, her image fading away. I long for her to return, remind me that there are more important things in school to discern, because my eyes miss the words they would read, my skin misses the wind it would feel, and my nose misses the trees it would smell. Most of all, I miss what life was like when it was based on more than just a grade.
All right, thank you, Nika, and let's see those scores. Okay, I see a 9.8, a 9.8, a third 9.8, and a 9.5. Higher? Is that it? All right, moving on. Are those the final scores? Okay.
All right, up next, we have a trio with Daniel Usherwood, Tegan Gohl, and Abigail Weber presenting Body Image and Self-Esteem. Let's give it up for them.
Okay. In my culture, curly, spacious, and radiant hair triumphs in one's eyes. Curves are considered a celebration, prosperous and blessing and beauty. One who speaks words of wisdom is to be considered a work of elegance and artistry. Those who aren't are to be considered as a body with no bones, pointless, useless, and worthless. How can I be the Versailles who is vowed, valuable, vibrant, vain, and vigorous in eyes of vagueness?
Buy this to look skinnier, follow this workout routine, the voices of the online ads seeping into my mind, cycling through repeatedly, my For You page becoming a guide to healthy living, all the exercise and good eating videos, taking it over like a virus. I take the advice and try my best, but it never feels like enough. So I search for more, hoping to find the perfect one, the one to fix it all.
Screens and pages, a parade of perfection, but recognize your worth and feel that connection. For we're just fleeting here on this earth, searching for a meaning, a moment fleeting. Those people sitting behind the screens are more than just your imagination. Our worth lies deeper in the strength within. Am I more than just an old napkin? Buy this, wear that, shrink here, plump there. The media's course is nothing but a never-ending affair. Inner beauty, it's just like a hidden gem, lost in the maze of the likes and thems. Scroll through all the filters, the edits, the lies, measuring your worth by some empty prize, but you can rise.
Insects are to be considered ugly, gross, and unpleasant, but the butterfly is a sight to see, isn't it? But no matter how beautiful the butterfly's wings are, they can't see their own beauty. They can't see their wings that spread from left to right with grace and gentleness, gleaming with all sorts of colors, shapes, and sizes.
My day-to-day thoughts morphing into these negative takes on my body, looking in the mirror daily and only seeing the flaws, only thinking about what I can do better. All I ever think about now is my looks, the looks I get walking down the hall, and what other people think about me.
Embrace your quirks and flaws. They are just the stories and the battles that were fought and lost. The beauty blooms from the inside out. All you can do is be a powerful shout. In the glows of screens where the reflections gleam, society whispers, "You are not what you seem." Said the shallow whispers behind that small glass screen, but we are more than pixels, more than skin.
Even though we think that we need to change what we think are our weaknesses, we were never broken. There is beauty in imperfections. They make us who we are, unspoken words of beauty.
Getting home after school and going straight to my room to do my secret daily exercises. Staying up late to find the perfect filter on Snapchat and TikTok to make me look good. Seeing all the people online telling me to just accept who I am and love myself, but I just can't. I try to think good thoughts about myself, but it just doesn't work.
Screens and pages, a parade of perfection. You should recognize your inner worth. After all, we are just on earth. Media's mirror. Could I be dear? In a world of hand-picked feeds, perfection's a myth, a show that misleads. Airbrushed dreams, impossible ideals, a face that hides what's truly real. The hidden configurations shaping their bodies and their minds. I start to pull down all the blinds and leave the noise of the world behind. And in the silence, I find my space, a truth untouched, a sacred grace.
Good job.
All right, judges, let's see those scores.
Okay, I see an 8.5, an 8.9, an 8.4, and an 8.9. Let's give it up. All right, up next we have Jono Finch with Dear Little Me. Is it Jono? Jono. Oh, my bad. You're good, though. You're good.
All right, hello? All right, perfect. All right. Dear little me, here's what I've learned. Go out there and try new things, but not that day old taco meat that gave us food poisoning. You know, just go out there and give it your best. That's all that matters. Whether it's 5%, 10%, 100%, you give it your all. That's what counts. Dear little me, don't be afraid of the dark at night, because your mind will always shine so bright. Follow your dreams. Do what you want to do, whether it's be a professional soccer player, be a pilot, go to space. You follow through. Dear little me, you know that bad coach we had who almost made us quit the sport we love? Well, we powered through. We found a new coach who made us feel welcomed, who helped us find our passion again. But what you need to do now is you need to hold that passion. You need to use that passion to get better and learn. Because that passion has helped us get so far in life. We made it to the top. We are part of a group of people you were once scared of because you thought you weren't good enough. But here's what I've learned. They are the same as us. So dear little me, don't be afraid to be yourself. Learn yourself. Find yourself. Because that's how you find the people who are the most like yourself. The ones who have shaped you to be who you are today. The ones who you can joke around with and be carefree. The ones who are there for you through all your hard times, all your good times. So dear little me, don't be afraid of failure, because that failure is just one step closer to success. Just because you lost that one final in your soccer game doesn't mean you'll never win. Just because you couldn't dribble a ball doesn't mean you never will. Take each failure as a chance to learn and a chance to be better. And dear little me, remember how determined you were to learn how to snap your fingers or to learn how to tie your shoes? That determination will get you so far in life just because you don't stop trying. Persistency is the key. That's how you will get better. It'll help you in so many ways, and I hope you remember. So dear little me, here's my final advice. Enjoy each day. Take the good with the bad. Each day is a new opportunity to do better and be better. And be kind, be respectful, and be yourself. Make your future self proud.
Thank you, Jono. And judges, I'll give you a moment. Okay, I see a 9.2, a 9.3, a 9.1, and an 8.8.
Up next, we have Sarah Barrero Pinzon with curly hair. Let's give her a hand.
Yeah. I've always had curly hair. I've always had to deal with its ways, so hard to wear with its knots and strands astray. Unmanageable mane of mine, tangling through teeth of tiny combs, brittle and frayed like twine. How I hated having this head of hair. I didn't care for its roots. Why couldn't it just be loose and not need mousse? I couldn't read its language, and I didn't want to understand it. Making my mornings miserable, I tried to make it tameable. My grandmother's hands, 2 maids, my little face framed by 2 braids. I'd found a way to control it, conceal it, keep it covered. I felt paintable, like a practical person, idyllically, even immaculate, like the girls I'd always wanted to be, so clean, so tamed, because curls was the last thing I'd want to be named. I turned to face my mother, whose curls fell freely down her shoulders, only to be met with a sleek silk sheet lying flat down her back. Why would she willingly hide the wispy wonders of her waves? I could hear them wailing in their graves. She'd found a way to control it, conceal it, keep it covered. Like most, we simply searched for a way to fit in, to be seen as gentle and calm, but I realized that if I let it go from these twists, I could try and care for my roots. I could try and understand this language. I was done being dull and bland. I wanted to be full and grand, take care of its ends, brush it till it unbends, coils and loops, frizzy but still pretty, bubbles but no braids. I embrace its patterns, not perfect but partially paired, the same ones my brother shared. It may not look pristine, it may not look tamed, but it makes me feel serene. Connected with my curls, I won't be ashamed. My curls make me who I am. Ringlets and ruffles, fluffy like truffles, they form my face, freely filling space. I've learned to understand them and how I love having this head of hair.
Wow, thank you, Sarah. All right, let's give the judges a moment.
All right, I see a 9.4, a 9.5, a 9.1, and a 9.3. Good job. Up next, we have Kajal Zarai with The Looking Glass.
Testing. Okay. I was cleaning out my closet these past few days. Everything seemed fine and nothing seemed strange until, in the corner of my eye, I stumbled across a doll that was once a favorite of mine, and somehow it took me back in time. Time is a gift, if you were to ask me. Time is a gift, yet time is a thief. Every candle you blow, year after year, that mirror once dirty stands in front of me clear, and I see my younger self standing there. Looking past the reflective glass, she looks back and smiles her toothiest smile, holding the doll she most cherishes. Peculiar, isn't it, how quickly our childhood perishes? When did the toy become the screen? I scream, I'm so lost in this machine. I'm like a fish headed so far downstream, and I can't seem to find my way up. I'm left unseen, unheard. You told me to grow up, I took your word. Grow up, Kajal, but I have. I grew out of my childhood laugh, grew out of my imagination, once vivid and once true, the destruction of everything I once knew. I don't know what to do. The smile I had when I was 2, now moved by the metal that'll choose to make a smile so perfectly placed, yet the smile so simple and plain. She looks back at me, in pain while covering her face and asks, why did we have to change this way? When did we arrange to replace every toy with a text, a message, a game? At the end of the day, it's all the same. It's the way you chose to change, I tell her. And she fades away, but the doll remains.
All right, thank you, Kajal. And give the judges a moment. Okay, I see a 9.5, a 9.6, a 9.4, and a 9.5. Let's hear it.
All right, our next poet is Masa Balak with Destruction 2.0. Let's give her a hand.
Here you go. Make sure you hold it like decently close.
All right. You're sitting at the shore with some tea near your home, and the smell of the sea and the sound of the waves hitting near your feet. With your family by your side, watching the sun say its last beautiful goodbyes. Giving is the way that we show our love. I'll give you my gold ring, even if you ask for how much. And the community dances we have with our kufi in hand, with the sound of the drums and the laughter and the jumps. And the history our homeland holds of the birth of a man most known, with the oldest churches and the oldest olive trees. This is my home, you see. That was until the 1940s, when we were forced out of our homes. We left a part of our souls, waiting for our return. And after trying to make peace for years and years, they always had their hands covering their ears. And if boiling water overflows, would you blame the water or the fire? This has to stop. 200,000 people or more off this earth with no remorse. And this is how their story goes. You wake up and sleep to this ringing sound. For over a year, this buzzing sound, constantly reminding you that your whole life is in the tip of a man's hand. This has to stop. Winter is coming for the second time, moving from tent to tent 15 times. The old and the young dying from the cold. Us over here, cozy and warm. This has to stop. You're laying down on your mother's grave, longing for her loving embrace. Murdered for the location she was born. Murdered for wanting to go back home. This has to stop. A 5-year-old witnessing his parents' death, his siblings beside him drenched in red, his shaking uncontrolled with his leg off the bone. This isn't a childhood anyone should endure. He should be free, climbing on trees, going on trips with his family. But because he is brown, bombs and bodies is all he's allowed to see. This has to stop. Your father is stripped from his dignity like he was stripped from his clothes, getting assaulted in every way, shape, and form. This has to stop. But we won't kneel and accept defeat, because this is our home and the home of my family long before. 2 pieces, that is all that we seek. Peace from the horrors that everyone sees, and a piece of our land so we can be free. So we will raise our peace high, shouting and crying even if it meant we will die. Free Palestine.
Wow. Thank you, Masa, for that really powerful poem. Let's give the judges a moment.
Okay, I see a 10 out of 10, a 9.7, another 10 out of 10, and a 9.8. Let's give her a hand. And finally, we have Sophia Peterson with the most commonly told lie. Let's give her a hand, everyone. You got this. Make sure the people in the back can hear you.
How are you? Now's my chance, I think. Not great. Something I'd really like to say. But do they really care? Do they really want to know, or are they just being polite? I can't decide, battling with my mind, my self-esteem and pride against the little voice inside that says, please try. I can't, not just yet, a little while longer, I whisper back. I know how I wish they could see, but they can't. So you double down and tell yourself, maybe I really am fine. Maybe it's all just in my head. I'm fine, the most commonly told lie. What happens when you fall short? They say, it's okay, you tried your best and that's all right, but what if it's not all right with me? What if I can't give myself sympathy? I've always tried to be the best, pushing and pushing until there's nothing left, and people know me as the teacher's pet, the one who always gives their best. So when I fail, they're so surprised that I didn't get something right. And then it doesn't feel justified because my fail is an 85. I'm fine, the most commonly told lie. Got a C last year, then failed a test, sending me into a spiral of anxiety. Not even able to go back in class, that task too big of an ask. At the doctor's office now, my stomach hurts. I see. Do you think it could be anxiety? Anxiety? Couldn't be me. Test approaching, missing school, missing homework, just too much. I don't understand. Shaking, breaking into a nervous sweat, spiraling down, never one to drown, kept my head up. Do you know how hard that is? Always being the one to have everything together, the strong one, the happy one, the smart one. So then why do I feel so dumb? The imperfect perfectionist. When I was 5, I asked permission to cry because it's really not justified. Like, I'm all good, I'm all fine, loving family and sheltered life. So many not having that life, lives so much harder than mine. I'm fine? The most commonly told lie. So I pray to God and I ask him, can you give me the strength to share? Because no one will ever really see if I don't show them that part of me. So I try not to use that little word fine, sharing my mind. Being brave is not really in my design. But I try. I'm fine, the most commonly told lie.
All right, thank you, Sophia, and we'll give the judges a moment here. Okay, I see a 9.8, a 9.75, a 9.8, and a 9.2. Let's give her a hand.